Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 99 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert Let's Play series, where today we are working on automating our runic altar and our mana pools. It's actually a pretty fun process to set up, so let's get started. Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day here with TheAndrata, where we have two Iron Golem friends now. We have Amosa the Glorious, and we have Magus Fullbranit. All right. What's up, guys? You having fun? You chilling? You taking care of me? You giving me all the protections that I need? Thanks. Also, it looks like I forgot to turn my map on, so let's go ahead and do that. So, I may have made a slight... I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but I kind of sort of forgot that I was AFKing in the game, and I left the game on for... Oh, look, we have another one. Justin the Cheerful. So yeah, all these guys are spawned in because I AFK'd for probably about a good 18 hours. Yeah, completely forgot that I had the game open, and yeah, that's where we're at. So if we take a look at our masticator scales, we've got 2.2 thousand of them. So I think it's okay for us to go ahead and take the masticator out, because it does leave this bar up because it's considered a boss. And so the bar stays up while it's inside of its, little cage and everything like that. And it's very annoying. I do not like it. I looked to see if there is a way to disable it. There's not. But like, masticator scales are only used to make the Maws of Gluttony, apparently, and Botania flowers. I don't think we're going to need any 2,000 some odd flowers. So I think we have more than enough right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bottle this bad boy back up. That snake is extremely loud. Bottle you up. Bottle you up. Bottle you up. Bottle him up. Come here, buddy. There we go. Got him. Had to find the hitbox. And yeah, we'll just leave that open. That's fine. Okay. Whew. Let's get out of here. That snake is very loud. So now we got our masticator. He's in a bottle. We have tons of scales. I don't need to worry about it anymore. What else did we end up getting while I AFK'd? We basically have like 6,000 of everything. All of our drawers are essentially full for the most part on everything. Like, what was that sapling that I planted yesterday? The Frosty Blossom. Look, we have 368 of them. Like, bam. I think we're doing pretty good. You know what I forgot to do was plant the Fiery Blossom, now that I think about it. I don't know how often we are going to use these in here, but we'll take it. Justin the Cheerful, thank you for protecting myself. I appreciate your efforts. You know what? Here, let me give you a, as payment for your services, here's an iron ingot. I don't think you're going to do anything with it, but there you go. You can have that. You know what, Amosa, you've been a pretty good bodyguard too. You can have that. I don't know if you do anything with it, but it's yours. There you go. I think you only do anything with it when you're, weak and damaged, but I'll let it despawn. Magus, you haven't earned your keep around here. Anyway, so today what I want to work on is finally going ahead and working on automating our altar, right? I do have over here some stuff set up and ready to go for us to try and work on getting the Gormarilis automated. Never done it before, but I think that we're going to be we should be able to do it. I went ahead and taught the system how to make, let's look up cooked, because we have that. And I'm actually going to pull out. So I made a stack of a bunch of just different cooked meats. Since we have all of these being farmed in our farm there, we can get cooked chicken, kangaroo, and all that stuff. Let's see, that's 4. What about steak? Yeah, we got dweller steak. We have regular steak. And then there was calamari. Yeah. Fried calamari. So these are our 7 foods that I think that we're going to feed to our Gormarilis and let it eat. Let it eat these 7 and then generate mana for us. And I think we should be able to do this fairly simply with modular routers. I don't know how well this is going to work. This is just me coming up with ideas and everything, but there's the mana detector from Botania that can detect mana flowing through it. So if we have our spreader pointing into the mana detector, and then on top of the mana detector, we'll sit the mana pool. It can, fill the mana pool. The mana bursts are flowing through. I have a potency velocity lens so we can move it faster. So that mana pool will be filled. And then if we use a modular router to pull from a chest that is being filled up with these, or a barrel, we can have it a round robin pull from that chest for each slot, I think, and then it just drops it whenever it receives a redstone signal. So we'll set up like a NOT gate so that we have a redstone torch that's always sitting off, or well, when the mana is flowing through, it's turned off, and then it pulses when the mana shuts off. Something like that, I guess. We'll see how that works. We'll see if we get to that this episode. We're going to work on automating our runic altar for now. So as you can see, I kind of sort of rearranged things a little bit over here. And I actually did this a few episodes back, if you noticed, but I never mentioned it. But we have our runic altar here. We have a mana spreader pointing at our runic altar. And then I have another mana pool sitting over here that I use some of our blacker lotus to fill. So what we want to do, our ultimate goal here is to fully automate the runic altar, right? We want to be able to basically put the ingredients into the open crate. It drops them onto the altar. Altar will pick them up. We need to use the wand of the forest on here once the craft is complete. And we need to make sure that we set up some sort of blocking mode so that refined storage only puts one recipe into this at a time. And so I actually did this in my FTB Ocean Block series. So let's see if I can remember how to do this, but I'm pretty sure this is all the things that we needed. So you can kind of see I actually set this up in a way that it's visually representing what this system's going to look like in a 2D plane instead of 3D. So what we're going to have is our crafter. Let's go ahead and start with this. I'm going to leave everything in the backpack. That way I can... it keeps that visual layout for me so I don't forget how this is working. And I went ahead and ran some cable over here. We're not going to worry about doing any sort of funky entangled blocking or anything like that. We're just going to set up a regular crafter here, let it do its thing. And then we'll probably ultimately end up needing to upgrade that to an iron crafter, which actually at this point, have I taught the system how to make these? No, let's teach it how and let it start cooking one up, because we should have everything we need to make an iron crafter. I taught the system how to make all the stuff, and at this point, I think it's time for us to start using iron crafters. I feel like that something happened there. Are we missing recipes? I don't like that. I don't remember this ever being empty. I've had issues in the past with refined storage losing recipes for some reason, which is why I generally tend to like slowly scroll through this instead of jumping to where I've been. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but I should be able to request an iron crafter. Yeah, I do have one Wixie charm in the system. We need to automate these. Okay, let's get that. We're probably going to end up needing the iron crafter over here anyway. And really, I should name this too. So let's go ahead and go here, and then I should have an anvil over here. This is going to be the runic altar. Sleep. Let's go. Okay. So if we place this here, now we have a runic altar so that it's in our system correctly. And we set this up. So we're going to have a crafter set up here. And apparently I put a pattern in here. How did you get in there? Oh my goodness. I didn't... Wait, what? Oh, I know what happened. That's why that bar was up there at the top, because that crafter showed up there because it was just a crafter just sitting there unused. There we go. So now I probably need to request the iron crafter again. Yeah, because the system got all flubbed up. There we go. Okay, now we're good to go. Perfect. That's doing its thing. So you are going to sit here, and the iron crafter is going to be set to work in a pulse mode. Pulse inserts the next set. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our repeater, comparator, repeater, and our redstone, and we're going to lay it out so that it looks something like this. So the repeater is going to sit here. The other repeater is going to sit here, and the comparator is going to sit here. But it's going to get rotated, but we're just going to... Nope. Undo that. We need you to compare off of the runic altar. So you can kind of sort of see how this is going to work, right? So when the runic altar finishes a craft, it will output a redstone signal. That redstone signal is going to flow into our redstone dust, which is going to hit these redstone. It's going to pulse, boop, hit the crafter, which is going to output a new recipe. And then over on this side is going to sit our dispenser with our extra wand of the forest that I made. Remember, it's fairly simple. Twigs, it's standard recipe. So this is a white one. Dispenser is going to sit there with the wand of the forest in there. And so it's going to trigger the wand of the forest to be used. And then this is going to insert the next set of ingredients. So on that, we're going to have a barrel. That's where the ingredients are going to dump into. And then we're going to have one single logistical transporter that will pull our items out of this chest and insert them into our open crate. So technically, theoretically, this would work for now, except for the fact that we need to pick up our items. And so in order to do that, I actually made an extra open crate. We don't need that. In order to do that, we're going to have a hopper hawk set up and a item frame. A hopper hawk is a flower from Botania. It is fairly simple to make, just required a rune of air in redstone root. Did I teach redstone root to the system, or did I just make these? I think I taught it to the system, yes. So it is a cave root and redstone dust. And I had some cave roots from when we were mining, a few, and then so I put one in our Drigme farm a while ago, and the Drigme looks like it can actually farm these, because I did not have 336 of these before. I only had like 14 in the system prior to all of this setup. So we have plenty of redstone roots for any flowers that we need. So the hopper hawk is made, and then I turned it into a floating hopper hawk. In order to turn it into floating, it's fairly simple. You just need any sort of floating flower, which is made with dirt, pasture seeds, and then our glimmering flowers. Simple. We have glimmering available. We have dirt. Pasture seeds is just grass thrown in our mana pool. And then you combine those two together and it makes a floating. Now, specifically for the hopper hawk, we have the petite version, which is this guy here, which is just an alchemy catalyst with our hopper hawk, and it turns it into a small version. And the reason that we turned it into the small version is so that it doesn't have quite as large of a range than other things. And the hopper hawk is it picks up items. It's like a magnet kind of sort of thing. It'll pick up items in the area. So yeah. So what we're going to do is set the hopper hawk here. And the reason that we make it floating is so we don't have to have a piece of grass and plant it and plant the flower. You can put it literally wherever. So that's going to sit here. And then on top of the hopper hawk is going to sit a barrel. And that's going to be where it will put its items. Then we need to put an item frame on the barrel. And the reason for this is the hopper hawk will pick up any items that are in its area. So if I were to let it, do that, it should pick up. It's like a vacuumulator. It picked up the item frame, put it into the chest. What we don't want to happen is the living rock that will be a part of our recipe to get picked up, because the crafter is going to insert all of the items that is needed for a rune, right? Everything that's needed for a rune is going to go in here, including the living rock. And what's going to happen, all the items are going to drop, and then the living rock is just going to be sitting on the altar until the craft is complete and the dispenser can, the wand's going to do its thing, create the rune. We do not want the hopper hawk to pick up that living rock until, we don't want it to pick up the living rock ever. We just want it to pick up the end result craft. And so what we need to do is actually go ahead and set up living rock as a filter on this. And the way you do that is you just attach an item frame to the inventory that the hopper hawk is attached to. So this can be above it, it can be below it, on the sides. It just needs to be adjacent to the hopper hawk. And you get your item frame and you put your item in there, bam, and now it will not pick up any living rock. So if we take living rock and we take living rock slabs and I throw all those out there and I throw all those out there, it'll pick up the living rock slabs. Wait. Oh, you know what? Duh. One step. We need to picks up only items in the frames. We need to change that. How do I do that? No, don't pick up the items in the frames. This is the one thing that's annoying with the morphing tool. I need to change modes on this, but I can't change modes while I'm looking at, there we go. Pick up only items not in the frames. There we go. So now that should work. So if we do this again, and I throw this and I throw this out, it'll pick up the slabs, but it won't pick up the actual living rock. There we go. Don't forget to change your modes, folks. And that should be everything that we need for this. The only other thing we're going to need to do is set up an importer on this chest. And I put an importer in my inventory. I did not. I forgot about that part. So I really should teach the system how to make importers, actually. Now, while I'm thinking about it, let's just go do it. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. Importer is you. And while we're at it, let's do exporter. And probably interfaces if I don't have them taught yet. Okay. Nope, not fluid interface. I did not know a fluid interface was a thing. I could be using that instead of the that storage block that I have. Actually, that'd probably be a better idea. You're just an interface with that. This is honestly probably a better idea for the fluid interface instead of using that 64K storage block that I have, because that 64K storage block liquid can get inside of it, and then we'll end up sitting in there, and then it'll gum up the whole system. 38 buckets of U, 218 of U. Like, it may have happened even already. Is there anything in this? No. We're gonna do that. We're gonna make a fluid interface real quick. We're gonna swap this for this. So then fluids can come in and then out of this, but we don't have to worry about anything getting gummed up in the system. I like that idea. Oh, and then someone said I just have to, what is it? Control right click, shift right click this thing. There we go. Look, and that got us our 64K storage part out, which I can now upgrade, and then I can combine them back together if I wanted to. So there we go. That's how we get our stuff out of there. Oh, and it gave us the bucket and the processor back. Okay, so this should work better for us ultimately, and it won't like fill up. It has a small buffer, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make any big difference. Cool. Anyway, so with that all being said, we need to get our importer. And hopefully that doesn't take too long. But while we're doing that, we can go ahead and get our recipe set up because our setup is done. So let's see, what runes do we need? Well, really, we need all of the runes. Like, there's nothing that we don't need, but I'm going to teach the system how to make all of our base runes here, right? And sure, rune of mana too. So the rune of water is made as such. And let's see. Is all this stuff that we have? We don't have any of this coral stone. We need to figure out how to automate this coral stone too. But anyway, we'll do rune of water. We have some in the system available to us right now. Am I in the right recipe? Yes. Okay. So rune of water is going to require mana powder, mana steel, kelp, dead coral stone. Incorrect. It requires live coral stone. We'll do something like that. Sure. A diamond hook, blizz powder, kelp, and then you see this says the runic altar. But we don't want the runic altar. We don't want to drop a runic altar on this thing. We want to drop living rock. So we're going to modify the recipe. We're going to say all of this equals this. And let's just make sure that that's everything that is required. Yes, the little bit of mana. Okay. And we should be good to go. So there is our rune of water recipe. Rune of fire is going to be very similar. Going to change this out for living rock again. Let's just keep one of these on our hand for us so that we don't have to worry about it. Bam. Rune of earth is all of this. And rune of air is all of this. And I guess rune of mana is this. And honestly, the rune of mana is probably what we can queue up the craft of, because we probably have all of this stuff available to us. So if we go here, this did flub up my shift clicking into this because the runic altar got placed on the top for some reason. Whatever, don't know why. I don't know why this doesn't sort alphabetically by what machine this is, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so we have all of our stuff. So let's see, what can we request? I don't know if we have all the requisite materials available to us. We are missing a diamond hook. So let's teach the system how to make a diamond hook. And it's probably easiest to just do it like this. Okay, so there's a diamond hook and there's a regular hook. And we throw these two in here now. And see, now I got to scroll down. And now we should be able to say, hey, I want a rune of water. So we're going to take these 8 out. We're actually going to pop over here so we can watch this happen. Let's go ahead and sleep. And we're going to watch this happen and make sure that everything is going to work appropriately. I'm also going to, I believe I made extra, yes, I've made extra Solagnolia floating. Again, same thing. It's just brown petals. It's just different color petals, essentially, like our Hopper Hawk, and it uses that redstone root. And Solagnolia is anti-magnet. It won't allow me to magnet up any items that are in its area. So we're going to set that down so I don't have to take my magnet off when I'm over here and then I accidentally pick up all the items, because that is a pain. So let's see, rune of water. If I request a set of these, I'm just going to make 2. So if we go ahead and do this, we should see all the items end up in the inventory. They're getting sucked out. Bam, you heard it do its thing. So there is a redstone signal coming out of this now saying that, hey, it's crafting. Once the craft finishes, it should output a full redstone signal. Bam, triggered. And then the Hopper Hawk is going to pick that up. And then it's going to get imported if I would have ever put my importer on there. you, and then cobbles. Bam, bam. And now that should get imported, and the craft should be marked as complete here. Perfect. And that is automated rune crafting. It's really that simple. I love this setup. I don't remember where I found this. There was a YouTube video. Maybe it was Rage Play Games. Maybe it was, I don't even remember. There was some YouTube video I watched and saw this setup, tweaked it a bit to make it our own, and it works fantastically. I love it. It's super simple. It's quite compact for automating, and it works. So now say we want like a rune of mana. That's you. If I request this, we just need a mana pearl, which I don't have mana pearls taught to the system yet. We are going to absolutely set up automation for all of the dropping into these things too. We're going to set up open crates above all of these, and we're going to tell the system, hey, you know how to make all this stuff. That's coming quite soon. That probably next episode, or should we do it this episode? Do we want to set up the Gormarillus this episode? Let's automate these things. Okay, so automating these is also very simple. So let's go ahead and get the stuff that we're going to need. I wasn't prepped for this, but we're going to go ahead and grab it. Crafters, we need 3 of you. We're missing the sky slime crystals again. We're not, actually. We have them in our factory. They're cooked up. Bam, give me those. And then someone mentioned that you can enrichment chamber these. Yes, I can enrichment chamber this now. So we no longer have to worry about sky slime going in there. Let's do sky slime crystals so I don't have to worry about this recipe anymore. Enrichment chamber. You're going to come down into here. We're going to find the enrichment chamber in here somewhere. And I'm going to eventually upgrade all of these to iron crafters, by the way. It's going to be it's going to be fun, basically. Crafter. 3 of you, bam. And we have our iron crafter ready. This is going to be for we'll switch our runic altar over to this because we're going to end up having a bunch of runes in there. We're going to need the room of the iron crafter. And if you've never seen iron crafters, they're pretty darn cool. 3 rows of inventory versus 1. It's fantastic. Like, so much more. They do use more power, but ultimately it ends up being more efficient to use an iron crafter versus a regular crafter because the cost for the patterns inside is lessened. Does that make sense? So if you fill up an iron crafter with 27 patterns, it is cheaper than running 3 regular crafters full of patterns. So we're going to work on switching these over. Can I make 64? We're actually fairly close. I just need a lot more reinforced slates and more circuit backplanes and a lot more of everything, really. So never mind. Yeah, because we need the Wixie shards and everything. But anyway, let's go ahead and grab our 3 crafters. We're going to need open crates. And we don't have any living wood planks. And another thing that we're going to need to automate is living wood and living rock. We're going to do those 2. So there's those 3. So that's crafter, that's those 3, and then another hopper hawk, or at this point, should we just use, do we have a vacuum? Can we make a vacuum upgrade? I want it to have a larger range, and I think the vacuum upgrade will be better for us ultimately in a modular router, and then have that vacuum, and then push into, heck, it can push into the crate that's over there, to be honest with you. Router. And a sender module Mark II. Yeah, let's do that. And this could even sit underground, really. It doesn't need to be out. Okay, so what we're going to do... another eclipse. Perfect. If only we had Astral Sorcery actually set up. So we're going to take our alchemy catalyst. We're also going to need another pool of mana. Because we're going to need regular crafts, right? Things that don't require an alchemy catalyst or anything. So let's do... We're going to do you here. You're our regular mana pool. And you know what? Let's shift all of this down. So we'll put the regular craft over here. Come here, reinforced chest. Excuse me, you rude. Hello, Justin or Amosa or whatever. Like, bro, you're supposed to take care of that kind of stuff for me. And where did that go? There we go. Solagnolia has a fairly large range, so that's why I'm not getting that out of there. Give me that back. And then we're going to need all 6 of you and then 10 of you. Do I have any more Black or Lotus in the system? I have Black Lotus. Okay, cool. And then we're going to do this. You're going to come under here. Bam. and then we can set this up. My dank. Bam. Okay, so you are alchemy catalyst. You are moonstone, sunstone, and then regular craft. So actually, we're going to need 4 crafters. Didn't think about that because we need a regular mana pool too, but that's okay. So similar setup to how we have here. We are going to set up our dropper, our open crates to drop into the mana pool. So we're going to go ahead and just boop, 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 and then one more. There. And then we can have our crafter, honestly, the crafter should be able to just push right into the open crates, right? If I switch this back to morphing mode. There we go. Okay. Get some cables. I don't know why I'm being like specific with the amount of cables I grab, but whatever. We can actually connect back that way, and I don't have to do it this way. Okay, so that puts all of these online. I'm going to end up having to name all these crafters, which is probably going to have to happen sooner than later. Let me go ahead and do that now, because they're all going to just be mixed up in our system as one crafter. So we're going to have sunstone pool. We're going to have moonstone pool. We're going to have the catalyst pool. And then finally, our mana pool. Okay. So let's set these all up again. There. Okay, so now these are all set up and they're going to drop. So what's going to happen is items are going to get pushed into the open crate. They're going to drop into their mana pool, and then they're going to get ejected out into the world into a random position, which is perfectly fine. What we're going to do is we're going to set our modular router up, and we can set it up back here. Oh, and I just realized, duh, am I dumb? I'm dumb. I placed these down, but they actually are specific. That's me. Okay, so you are our moonstone pool, which is you. This is mana pool. That's you. You're sunstone. You're catalyst. Okay, let's try this one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. Okay, so now these are all set up correctly. So then we're just going to have our vacuum module sitting here. You're going to vacuum, and then you are going to send to this chest here, or this barrel. That's perfectly fine. Anything that ends up popping into you. And then you're going to vacuum up. We are going to have to set up a filter on this, so that way we filter, or maybe we whitelist. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going to be better ultimately to filter that, because it'll try and pick up anything that drops into these probably. But let's see what we need. So the one thing that we had there was a mana pearl, right? Mana pearl. You go in the moonstone, and we're not going to do a mana pool, and we're not going to do that. It's just that equals that. And you go into our moonstone pool. I don't have any of those, though, so let's see what we can use for a mana pool without a catalyst so we can validate that this is going to work. Usage. Something that we're going to need. Pasture seeds. To make floating flowers, right? And we should have grass in the system still. Yeah, we have some grass. Perfect. That'll work. So if we take this and we put it in our regular mana pool, and we pop outside twice, apparently, and we say, okay, sir, I need a pasture seed. What should happen is that's going to drop. It converted, got picked up, sent in, and the craft was completed. And you know what? It's going to drop fast enough. Maybe the vacuum module won't actually pick it up. And it completed the craft. And that is automated mana pooling. It's fairly simple to set up. Like I said, Botania is not like the most difficult thing in the world. It's just, it just exists. Mana pool. Yeah, so we can automate all of this stuff. We need mana glass, we need some mana cookies, if we need, mana quartz, all this stuff. As we go through, I'm not going to automate all this. Look, there's 48 items that we need. I'm not going to automate everything here, but like resonating gems, we use these. This goes into our moonstone pool. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Not you. So that was resonating gems. You go here, but we're not going to do this and this. We're going to let aquamarine, and this goes into our moonstone pool. So now if I want to request, 10 of these, let's go ahead and do this outside just to validate that it's going to work. 10 of these, it's going to drop them. And hopefully that range is far enough. That's the one thing with Botania that's kind of annoying, is that it does yeet items randomly. We pretty much drained this mana pool. That's okay. We're going to actually set sparks up on all of these guys, so that way our generating mana pool can fill them. Can we set up a spark with the open crate there? Will it yeah, perfect. So then we can have the mana get pushed from our pool. This will probably be our generating pool, maybe. Or maybe we'll set up another pool when we get the Gormarilla set up, and we'll set it up over here. It'll feed all of these pools, probably. But anyway, that's it for this episode. So next episode, we have 2 projects that we're going to want to work on. We are going to need to automate the Gormarillas, and we are going to want to automate Living Wood and Living Rock. And then that should take care of most of Botania's stuff that we're going to need to automate. Everything else, other than maybe, I guess, Terra Steel or something like that, when we get to it, it should be fairly easy. Oh, well, I'm not going to say it's easy to do, but we shouldn't necessarily need to automate terribly too much more. The runic altar and the mana dropping stuff is probably the most used for Botania, I would say. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. Tips and tricks with Botania automating. It's been around for a very long time. I know people have setups. They have better setups. They have different things that they like to do and everything. So if you have ideas or suggestions, let me know. I'm absolutely open up to everything. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.